Wicked. Right. Orks are back, baby. Let's get going with this. So, Orks tell you back. I'm still a bit miffed about Green Tide, Tactical Brigade, Mordaka. I never got to use Mordaka because I was out of the country, so that was pretty tragic. But Orks are looking fun again. I've actually been making lists. So, I'm back with another video talking about some of my ideas. Obviously, no one else has ever had these ideas, so this is completely unique stuff today. So, talk about the serious stuff first. So, yeah, we've got the first buff, which is being able to call a warg in your command phase. So that means if you're going second, you aren't so visible as to when you are gonna have your go turn, which is really quite nice. I think that was very annoying. I never really played with that in my casual competitive gameplay. To be honest with you, I never really used it all that much because we're always so lenient. But I think it's fantastic for tournament play, so that's going to be good. However, you can't quite really call it reactively, which is I don't really know how many people were doing that. I think for bully boys, that's worse, right? Because bully boys was quite nice to say, all right, let's pop the 5+ in buns. But again, bully boys isn't that good anymore, so I think generally this is a pretty good buff and pretty useful. And obviously, Gaz has gotten so much better. It's absolutely incredible. I think he's pretty much an auto include now. I think he does so much damage and he can buff his squad so much and everything else near him that he's kind of a must use situation. Obviously, everyone's talking about that he can go with a weird boy and 20 boys and the jump, which is pretty fun. Definitely will be trying it out. I don't know whether it's that good in a melee horde list, but I think it actually does have a place within like the big mech detachment, the one with all the walkers and stuff. I think he could be good in that situation because he's sort of like an added beat stick. If you can get him into the right position early, hide him in some middle terrain after some commandos have screened it out for you, that can work quite well. So I think that'll be good. But I think if you're going with Warhorde, which is probably going to be the best place, still the best attachment, um, you probably want to be doing something else. We'll talk about that later. So yeah, obviously the transport space has also decreased, which is fantastic. Battle wagons are great again. I'm happy that they've been good because I remember when kill rigs came out and kill rigs were fantastic and no one was taking battle wagons. It was kind of boring because kill rigs are so ugly. I don't know who in their right mind likes the look of a kill rig. I don't know whether they painted them badly or if they have them at a bad angle. I've never bought one. I've never even seen one on. Actually, I've seen a few on a table once. And they just look really bulky and clunky and like they take loads of space up. I don't know. I'm not keen on them. Don't buy them, just get battle wagons. I was thinking maybe I should make one, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I should start making things and posting. I was thinking of making some killer cans and a Gorkanaut. So, because the Gorkanaut also ugly ass model. Anyway, I'm really getting off topic here, but it's great for gas in a battle wagon. He costs 5 transport space. You can put it with a load of knobs or mega knobs. Mega knobs are cheaper. Also, you can do breaker boys, which I think are shite. To be honest with you, I mean the models are gorgeous, really nice models, but they don't really have enough tax. You could make an argument in Bully Boys. They'll get those added attacks. They'll have those 2 turns of +1 attack, which does make them better. But I think for the amount of models that you're buffing compared to knobs or boys, it's just not really worth it. Also, the 4+ anti-vehicle slash monster doesn't really synergize with the +1 to wound, so that also doesn't work. I don't have them, but I might proxy some and use them sometime. I know they were good when they came out, but I didn't. As I said, I wasn't in the country, so I couldn't fuck around with them. But knobs are great. Obviously, they got loads of attacks. It's a huge unit. +1 to wound. I was watching someone do an analysis of it, and they can one shot with gas and unbridled carnage. They can one shot all sorts of shit that should be able to be one shot. So that's just nice. I think the issue in a more casual game or in against a multiple small unit army is investing so much into such a huge unit. That's the only issue. But with the the deliverable aspect of them being in a battle wagon, you can sort of place them exactly where they need to be and hopefully multi-charge with a good go turn. Wog. So I think they'll be fantastic. I will definitely be using them. I think boys will be best though, personally. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Also, the great thing is you can have 10 knobs, Gaz and Makari, and then you can have another 5-man knob unit with War Boss, which is also just a great piece. And they can get the added buffs from Makari, the lethal hits in WoG. It's going to be nice. So the tech on this, I've been seeing a lot of people talk about this. I never even thought about the mech because, again, I don't have him. I've got the old ones and they look nice. I'm not keen on this new guy. Old one's better. That's here I fucking put it right here. So yeah, the old kit bashed mechs. That's what you want to be looking for. You don't want to be looking for this new shit. Even though he is gorgeous, I'm not. If you have one, to be fair, he's pretty cool. So I'm not gonna put you through the ring on that one. But reroll advance rolls, absolutely fantastic. Yeah, the models unit can just move through models and terrain. That's crazy. Like when you have 20 models plus a mech, plus follow me lads on the mech and Gaz and Makari. I mean, you could just get like a freaking line, 2 models thick of shit running through and tagging up tons of shit using everything super well. I think that's going to be fantastic. And I think that's the benefit of boys. Because they get the lethal hits, because you get the sustained hits, boys just do so much damage anyway. Obviously, they don't have the AP, they don't have the -1, the 2 damage, but then they don't have the negatives of having -1 damage and all that stuff. They just take everything and just do a load of hits and just drown them in dice. That'll, +1 to wound and all this stuff. So I think like one massive. I'm designing a list, a bit of fun one, um with the mech detachment, the one with the gets go faster, get finder goggles, all that shit. And I think they're gonna be really nice in there because they're just gonna be such a big beat stick that just can tie up 3 squads and kill all of them pretty easily in multiple small units. And then you've still got all the shooting to take out the big stuff with all the big buffs against vehicles and stuff like that. So you sort of need it, kind of balances out quite well. I'm probably going to be using a weird boy though in that detachment because you don't have follow me lads, so you're not going to get quite the speed that you can get on them. So if you have a teleport, move up the killer cans, move up the death dreads, and then second turn charge, I think that can work quite well. Um, yeah, obviously in Warhorde they're just going to be super good with here we go in the WoG, +2 the move, +2 to the advance, +2 to the charge, rerolling advance rolls. I mean, 30-inch threat range, and you can move through models. I mean, it'd just be obscene the multi-charge you could pull off. You could take a whole of a front line of an Imperial guardsman. I mean, it'd be absolutely incredible. I think Pain Boy with Follow Me Lads is also really nice. The survivability of a 5+ Feel No Pain, I think, is probably greater than Mega Knobs. With all the boys, I think it would be fantastic. And they'll just take so much damage. So, yeah, the Weird Boy is fun, it's cool, and when it works, it will really work. Because you can give them Here We Go on a Weird Boy, and then here we are, Gaz is in your front lines first turn with that's kind of obscene. It's pretty obscene. All you have to make is a 7-inch charge, and We're sort of aiming for 6-inch charges, so 7-inch really isn't bad at all. But the issue is it's just not quite that consistent. You're still going to fail it. Even with a reroll, you're still going to fail it. And then you're sort of leaving Gaz out. Because if you cannot kill what you need to kill in that first turn, if the opponent's left a massive space for Gaz to come in and hit something big and strong, but if he's screened like most people do, you're not going to get the charge you want on that first turn. And it's going to be, I think, a bit of a waste because he's probably going to be, his first turn he's going to spend killing that unit. And then you don't even get the Warg with Gaz's buffs and the benefit of Makari. So yeah, you don't know whether you're going to get the value from it. It is fun, and if you have a list and you've got a weird boy and a pain boy, and you're going to make a choice about it, like within Green Tides, oh, you could really make a good choice. You'd be like, well, I think this one, he doesn't have that many screening units. I think I'll put Gaz with a weird boy, right? And I'll put the pain boy with a wall boss. That works fine. That works fine. And I think those lists will be fantastic. And it gives you the option. So Commandos and Sneak Rot decreasing points. Why? I'm not really sure. Um, well, I get it. Sneak Rot decreasing points kind of needed because the Commandos are so good. Sneak Rot was already pretty fucking nice, so it's going well. I think you can do some really fun things with having 30 commandos charging the front line first turn. I mean, that's a serious distraction. In tactical, you can have the squad leader, war boss, plus sneak rot in another unit, and then plus another commandos unit. And if you split these units as well, like you can split what I did with my first game with commandos, I just brought a 10-man squad. I brought sneak rot, I think, and I put him in one half of the unit with all the damage. They had all the shooting weapons, the breacher ram, the power claw, the bomb squig, and the 5+ invuln, which I don't think I used. And then the other 5-man with nothing in it but sluggers and choppers just started right at the front, and then I got first turn, luckily. But even if I didn't, you're wasting like 60 points. It's like, okay, whatever. It's a bit of a speed bump. The annoyance is if you give something charge distance. But if you're actually blocking them, if you're so close, you're 9 inches away, you're not giving them that much extra movement. And if you get the first turn, then you can put them up there and then charge them up and just put them a few inches away. And if they don't have a reactive move or anything like that, then you are just like completely blocking them. And you can do that with multiple units of commandos. And that is crazy good. Now, in tactical, I think is really going to have a comeback because of this, because of their um, redeploy enhancement. They can redeploy 3 units, so you can have 3 units of 10, making 30 commandos. Split them all into fives. You have 5-man squads sitting at the top of the board as close as you can be, just beelining to destroy their scout moves. Now, obviously, if they have infiltrators, and most people have a unit of infiltrators, they will be able to screen out a lot of this situation. But if you're not, this will be really useful. So I think, obviously, I'm talking about like this crazy situation where they don't have any infiltrators. Say you're up against a guardsman. Um, they don't typically bring their rattlings. They don't typically use Gaunt's ghosts to move up that much. Maybe they put them a few inches into some terrain. So you can do a fantastic job of just blocking out their line and preventing them from moving up, which is fantastic. So definitely be doing that. Definitely bring a unit of commandos pretty much every game. Sneak Rot, I think you can't ignore damage he does and the jumping up and off, coming back in another place. It's very useful. It's super good late game. Question is, you can keep them alive, and if you've already got the utility of one unit of commandos, one 5-man, you can have the benefit of the of a scoring unit commandos with sneak roll. It's not that expensive. They do a lot of damage. They've got a lot of damage too in there. They can wipe out quite easily with the twin links of sneak roll. A 5-man unit of intercessors, whatever needs to happen. So they're really nice. So yeah, I think move blocking is going to be really fantastic. Beast Boss as a squad leader, I think is probably better than the War Boss, because if you need to be aggressive with it, you're going to get more value from the Beast Boss because the Beast Boss doesn't get Warg buffs, whereas the War Boss gets Warg buffs. You want that Warg buff. You want those +4 attacks, +1, 9 attacks in the Warg. You kind of need that. So you can't. Our War Boss is one of the best units in the Codex. So you need to hold those. I think I would use a Beast Boss. It gives it a little bit more melee power against tanks, which I think is quite useful. It's quite good. Threatens transports, things like that. Right, next, Mega Knobs. Get your Mega Knobs out, everybody. No images allowed. Very funny. I was making these jokes earlier, but so yeah, they're cheaper now. They're 30 points a model. They're cheaper in the larger mobs, particularly. So yeah, they're looking good. They're looking good. Does this mean Bully Boys are back? Maybe. Maybe. We'll see. I think other things are still very good. So I think maybe not. But it's definitely something to look at and it's a lot of fun. So might as well do it. Deep striking a 6-man unit with the war boss and mega armor. That's just cool. It's just a cool thing to do, especially with the commandos screening that area out that you need. Why not? Why not do it? Especially with Ingress. I think that's really nice. The issue is they don't do a lot of damage. The Warboss in Mega Armor doesn't do a lot of damage. He's a bit expensive. He's not. They're not my favorite. I don't like the low amount of attacks they get. Fine, he gets damage 3, but it's one guy with 4 attacks, damage 3. It's like, it's not that good, right? Not to be negative about it. They're still going to be fun. I think Speed Freaks could be a lot of fun here, though, because you can have faster than use. You can have a truck and have an obscene distance with some Mega Knobs, and they just take a lot of damage, go into something, and just be like hyper aggressive. I think that's a lot of fun. I think we should be doing fun things because it's not our time to dominate, in my opinion. We had our domination eras, and we got nerfed into oblivion. So now's the time to have some fun with it. Make it chill. You don't always have to play the same stuff. I think using some Speed Freaks and why not bring Bully Boys back? I remember I made 18 Bully Boys. Sorry, 18 Mega knobs when Bully Boys was good, and that was really fun. I mean, just everything would bounce off those 4+ implants. Sorry, 4+ Vilna paints. Oh, it was tasty. But the damage was shit. Damage was so bad. Um, yeah, I don't know. You don't really know how you win those games. I guess it's just like you're so aggressive. You have such broad dominance if you pull them up that they just like, they kind of bounce off. But the damage is getting so much more. Like the meta is totally different to what it was. Like you go into all the new codexes, they have tons of damage 3 in normal units. Like none of the early codexes have that shit. Like fucking Belial has a damage 2, Azrael damage 2. You know, there's nothing in the Ork army with damage 3 apart from killer cans, I guess, and Death Dreads who have been shit all edition. But anyway, there's way too much damage 3 is my point. And so it's dangerous. It's dangerous time. I'm not sure if you could do a stat check army nowadays. I mean, Wrath of the Rock, it was fun. We had a good time, and I've seen what's his name? He's done well with Wrath of the Rock. He got into um, one of the big tournaments, and it was an interesting list, but it was quite a techie list. Like he wasn't using a ton of Deathling Knights. He wasn't stat checking them. He was doing wacky, interesting things. It was really technical. Anyway, I'm sure you guys know who I'm talking about if you've watched him as well. He's quite a good guy. So yeah, I think a lot of the points decreases. I'm gonna be honest. It's not really immediately obvious that any of it is all that good. Like the looters, they hit 6+, right? So it's a bit mid that they've decreased in price. It's like, oh, okay, fine. And they get reroll hits on objectives. Okay, sweet. They're like a buffing unit now. It's like buff your shock attack mix. And shock attack guns, they've gone down, so that's nice. But I don't know. I'm going to be trying them out. I've got some bits. I'm going to make some looters from some old models. I'm going to get a unit of 10 out and try them. I'm going to try them in the with the Git Finder goggles because I never tried that. I never tried it. I was too busy with Green Tide and having fun with Bully Boys, rinsing my local meta to mess around with looters. So now's my time. um, Warbike is super cheap, surprisingly tanky. I tried them in tactical the other day, and they're pretty fun. I used it with the War Trike, who's dog shit, absolute dog shit. But he gives them the buffs, which is nice. So you could give them +1 to hits. It's kind of nice. They got a lot of attacks. They got that +1 AP when you're close. I mean, it's not bad. It's not terrible. I'm not sure it does the damage you're looking for, and it's basically just boys on bikes, and you get 6 of them. So it's like, um, when you're charging in. But together with both aspects, you're probably getting it, and they're quick, which is nice, and they're not that expensive, and they're not that much of a problem if you have to do something with them. They need to get into a position and do yourself an objective, a tactical secondary. It's like, okay, cool, yeah, fine, because they weren't that useful anyway. um, there's been some big points decreases for Squigasort and Mozrog. Um, yeah, they don't really have the damage or the AP that they used to. I mean, Mozrog has some shit. Like, I'm going to be honest, he looks like it's a good stat line. But it just doesn't have the AP. Like, once the damage gets through, it's like, fucking hell, it's obscene. And with the meta being quite titanic, I could see I could see the choice. I think you'd have to run the numbers a bit and think about, okay, what's an average roll looking like? Because he just still has to get through a 2+ armor save, and it's just kind of brutal on that front. Um, there's no real way of buffing AP in melee. I don't, as I recall, there's no stratagems anywhere to do that. So yeah, I think about it. I want to do it. I've got some feral orcs from fantasy fantasy and old world. I don't know if they count as the same thing. Whatever. I've got some boars, and I've got some boars. Some of them are big, some of them are small, varying ranges. We're using them. It's going to be fun. They're going to look good. They were less expensive. Um, they have flags, and it kind of fits in with the feral character. I'm going to give it a go. But yeah, the unit 6 Squeakhogs plus Mozrog, and obviously the 2 knobs. You're costing 445 points. That's almost a quarter of an army. And that's just crazy. That's just crazy. A quarter of your army in this unit. It's just, I mean, you're happy that it's not 10 models. That's what I was thinking about. It's like, if it's 10 models, can you imagine shooting even if you just have some fucking tank busters shooting into those, it'd be just obscene. I mean, it's already fairly obscene with +1. Anyway, so yeah, they're not that tanky. Everything's quite good at shooting into them, apart from really small arms fire. But bolters, they're wounding on 5s, so it's like, okay, fine, we'll take some wounds. Um, intercessors don't care. They have so many shots, it's obscene. Like your last guns, yeah, fine. You're wounding on 6s. It's quite kind of a cool time to be a boy on a ball. But unsure about the others. Yeah, Flash gets cheaper. I think that's nice. Hopefully, that means the Mech Attack Captain combo has cheapened itself. I use the Mega Armor Mech. And it's just nice. It's just nice. I never even needed. Well, I needed the healing actually once. I never needed shooting anyway. I had the Shook Attack Mech in a different one with some tank busters, and it's just great. Just lots of shooting, very easy. And the flash kits are so good. I mean, they just kill so much stuff. Damage too. I mean, I'm so glad flash kits are good. I bought some and I customized them, and then he's just like, okay, well, I'm never gonna pay these. I'm not gonna use them. And then it's like, oh my god, they're good. So that's sweet. They're good. Everyone be proud of it because they're not always going to be good because they haven't been for so long. In fact, ever. I don't think I've ever known a time in which they were good. Anyway, now we're going on to just purely fun stuff. Stuff I've been thinking about, things I've been thinking about orcs. Because I've been thinking a lot of my time I'm a bit of that guy, you know. Sometimes you feel you're that guy in the that guy neighborhood. I don't think I am, you know, I try to be nice, but I'm trying to make it more fun. I'm trying to go back to the heart of Warhammer. Death Dreads. Death Dreads. I mean, look at that beautiful old metal Death Dread. Everyone wants one of those. You know, they just look nicer than the new ones. I've got three of the new ones. I haven't got any of these old ones, but you know, I want one. So yeah, Mortal Wounds. That's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. You know, you kind of would hope that they do a bit more. 420 points, but fuck it. You know, you take what you're given. Death Dreads might be okay now. I'm gonna be taking one because they got movement 8 inches. You know, we used to buy the custom jobs movement 8 inches. Well, I think it was movement 9 at that point, which was bloody nice. It was bloody cool. It moved quickly. But movement 8's nice as standard. They got the 2+ arm save, which is a bit of a surprise. You know, orcs aren't used to these arm saves. I remember for centuries that we were thinking, oh, what is wrong with orcs? Just no armor. Just kill me everything. I have to spend £5,000 on an army of everything that just dies immediately because we've got no armor saves. Funny times. So yeah, it's nice. 2+ armor save, but they got barely any wounds and not much toughness. So it's still like it's, it's very harmful to be out in the world. It's a death dread, you know, not that deadly as you'd like them to be. So we could do what's the options? We could give them custom mega blasters, 3 custom mega blasters. I hope someone else recall sparkly bits. Love that shit. 4 custom mega blasters with sparkly bits. 4+ shooting. That shit was awesome. So you kind of can relive a bit of those glory days with this. I'm giving it a go. I think I'll be going with rocket launchers though, because I'm going to be in that hazardous mech thing. Yeah, I can't remember the name. I probably should have researched it. People know what I'm talking about though. The one with the bigger shells for bigger gits and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to go with rocket launchers because the hazardous is just obscene in that attachment. I imagine you're going to be taking so much damage on hazardous, so I'm trying to minimize usage of damage hazardous to make sure I'm not taking it on 1s and 2s because that's just disgusting. So I think I'm going to be giving that a go in that attachment. I have already given it a go 3d6 Scorcher shots with some pretty nice Overwatch on that front. I didn't really go into anything which needed it. Um, and you know, 4 attacks at damage 3 is a bit of a piss take. It kind of makes you feel sad. Um, you know, you kind of, I'm not really sure what the perfect balance is. I don't know whether to take a load of shooting or none at all. It's just kind of fucked. But, you know, I think we need to decide. We need to do one or the other. Let's go for it. I could also very much just go advance all the way and go with 7 attacks base. I think that's very nice. With the mortal wounds, you just kind of focus on that, especially in Warhorde. So there's no need to take any scorches. You've got enough killing, you know, just go for it, right? I still think you could do with the points decrease. I think you put these at 105, 110. You know, you're almost getting 2 for the price of a Redemptor. I think that's looking good. because they haven't got the shooting to compete with the Redemptor. They haven't got the fighting to compete with the Redemptor. So yeah, something more needs to happen for them. I'd really like to take bigger squads of them. I'd like to be like 1 to 2 Death Dreads and be able to buff units at a time. I think that would be really good. Obviously, you can't. There's not that many buffs you can put on them apart from that attachment that I keep talking about that I don't know the name of. But hey ho, I think it's good distraction. That's I think the primary impact of a Death Dread. It's a dangerous looking model and it moves quickly, and that's like you can tell that to your opponent. Always tell to your opponent. I know some people go into games and they kind of tell your opponent exactly like their most OP stuff. And maybe I'm a bit of that guy. This is the that guy coming out of me. I like to tell them just random shit. Like the mind games begin. You know, you got to psyop your opponent first before the game. Psyops are on the menu, guys. Use your death dreads, right? And say this guy is crazy. And then he's like, I want to kill that death dread, and he kills the death dread. And it's like, I never gave a shit about the death dread, right? I've got 3. I bought all those combat patrols centuries ago when weren't called combat patrols, and I've got a dozen that I never use. So fuck it, kill them. And then, so that's what I did. I put them straight up the board. It's like, haha, aggressive Death Dread, kill me. He killed it, and then he's out in the open, and I can go kill him, and that's great. Um, Something has to die first, and I'm happy for it to be a Death Dread. Killer cans. Oh my god, killer cans are so sweet. Look at this picture. Look at that picture. It's a glorious picture. And I'm going to be, right after this, I'm going to be making myself a bunch of killer cans. So let's hope that works out. It's the first time I'm doing like proper scratch building. So I think killer cans is a good place to start. I'm using, the insides of a Kinder egg? I'm using one of those. So yeah, fingers crossed. Wish me luck. A group of 6 with rocket launchers, I think that's the way to go. Obviously, I'm not going to be modeling them all with rocket launchers because I just don't have enough. Going to give some shooters, fuck it, right? No one cares about WYSIWYG. If you care about WYSIWYG, sorry, you're too autistic for even Warhammer. Okay, and I'm being serious. A joke, of course. Everyone's autistic. So yeah, strength 10 rockets. That's nice. That's nice. You know, you got the potential +1 strength, you got potential for +1 attacks, you got the +2 strength, 1 CP thing with potential of more damage if you're going up against something crazy. I think fuck it, have a good time, see how it goes. Um, I'm giving it a go. Nice big unit of 6. They take less mortal wounds because I can't believe these 6 mortal wounds. That was like, oh yeah, we're giving Orcs something. Killer cats, make them shit. Death dreads. Uh, We need something with battle shock because we've redone leadership again to be shit again. Fucking hell. Anyway, um, the melee damage is nice. We're gonna say it. The melee damage is nice. Flat 3 damage. That's just nice to see. Are they hitting on 4s? Yes. Is that fucking dreadful? It can be, but sometimes you just roll a load of 4s, 5s, and 6s, and it's just like, oh, they all hit. Killer Cans feeling good today. So yeah, very nice. Now I'm talking about the really underrated shit. This crazy underrated stuff. And that stuff. No one else is talking about this. Okay, this is from my genius. Okay, you can find Reddit threads from a year ago that someone decided to put out, but that was only because I searched it up. I only find that out, and I'm not repackaging stuff, even though everything is repackaged. Bang. Have you thought about this? Dakajet mech. Dakajet mech. Do you know what we're doing? Yes, you do. +1 to hit on the Dakajet. Have you looked at the Dakajet rules? No, you haven't. Every hit is a critical hit. Imagine that. 4 plus, all sustained. That's a gorgeous thought. The question is aligning your mech boy to receive the dash jet so he can buff it in its command phase on the third turn. Yes, yes. Aircraft rules, how glorious. But Dakka jets are such nice models. You might as well bring it out. All the other ones are ugly. Actually, I won't say that because they are all really nice. I just think that Dakka jets are the best. I don't know about the mech one that they made when they repackaged and doubled the price of the plane. I'd love to have received one of those, but I don't, so I can't say anything about that. Anyway, first first turn, it comes on the board. Well, not first turn, second turn, because you've got to wait till the strategic reserves. It comes on the board. Oh, yay, fantastic. Now you need to align it to land where your mech is going to be. Hopefully nothing dies in that little zone, your mech or your back jet. Then you can use your command phase path for +1 to hit. Woohoo! Now you get 18 shots with crit hits on 4s and sustained hits 1. Now, if you're in Speed Freaks, and I was talking about Speed Freaks earlier, I think people should be trying shit out. Speed Freaks is fun. Maybe. Might be fun. Use your Dakka Storm or your Blitz of Fire. So in Dakka Storm, you can get, I think, within 9 inches, you can get sustained hits 2. Oh, sustained hits 2. Critical hits on 4s. I mean, that's just a disgusting thing to be told. You're getting 3 hits per hit. So 27 hits? Twin linked? Jesus Christ. I mean, that is amazing. Um, what can you do? You can add more mechs. All right, everybody. Sorry for the cutout. I thought I wasn't recording my audio. So I had a bit of a moment of, anyway, early YouTuber. Whatever. Anyway, so I think back to the business. You can also use Blitz Fire for lethal hits on those critical hits. So you can have that's better if you're shooting something with a lot higher toughness. Obviously, the sustained hits too is really nice. I think it's a fun combination. If your friend's going to be nice to you and allow your aircraft to start on the board turn 1, which is a very kind thing to do, then this gets even better. You get a bit of an alpha strike. It's a lot of fun. And, you're playing Speed Freaks. I mean, I think he can give this benefit to you, especially if he's playing something a bit disgusting. But anyway, you can also use the mech plane, get this orc hitting on 3s with the reroll 1s. Eesh, that's pretty nice. Is it that good anyway? Probably not. But enjoy yourself. I did have a crazy idea to have multiple mechs. You can sort of have 3 mechs max, so you could try and coordinate them so that after your first turn of coming in strategic reserves, you can kind of receive a mech's buff and then move and receive another mech's buff and move and receive another mech's buff. It's an interesting idea. I don't think it really work, but if one of you lot want to have some fun, you could even have multiple planes. If you want to make planes work, this could actually be the move. Like you do Speed Freaks, you get multiple mechs. Yeah, it could be a lot of fun. You use both Dagstorm and Blitzfire. You can get an interesting chain reaction. You know, at least for turns 3 and 4, I think, because you can put 2 mechs on 2 sides of the field, right, doing something else, like whatever they're doing, holding an objective or just mixing around, screening. You get your 2 planes on, you bring them in 20 inches, they're there, they're on top of the mechs, and then they turn their 90 degrees towards the other one. They get their buff, they fly, they get the 2 stratagems with the 2 CP. They kill the fuck out of some shit. They receive the other mech's buff, and they do the same exact thing the next turn, and then they probably have to fly off the board. Could work. Could work. You never know. You never know. Um, I'm up for giving it a go, except I only have one fly. So there we are. Probably be quite underwhelming. Make planes great again. Um, Boom Daka Snazwagon. I don't know how no one's really picked up on this aspect. Maybe it's because it's very matchup dependent. If you're going against Custodes who are always hitting on twos, -1 to hit, hit. Balloon flute fumes, -1 to the hit roll, anytime. Anytime the unit makes an attack. It's obviously a 6-inch debuff aura. It's quite nice. It's quite a nice thing. It's quite a big base size and it moves quickly. It can get a debuff in the right place and it's, melee and shooting. And it doesn't draw a lot of fire, because it's so crap. So it can kind of go and do something. It can move block, it can do tactical objective, and it can give the debuff. So it's like an interesting action monkey. It's quite a big model. It looks, again, you could probably big it up and make it seem like it's better than it is. It's like a mini distraction Carnifex. Obviously, it's cool. I loved this image in fourth and fifth edition codex. I don't know when I started. I think it was fourth, but this is such a beautiful image. I've got some of those war buggies. I'm gonna make them into Boomdax wagons. The new Boomdax wagons also lovely, but they're monopose, so you have to do some modifying. I've got a second one coming in the magazine for 13 quid. Whoosh, bosh, right? Half price, or probably more than that. I don't even know how much they cost. I never look at GW prices. Don't give GW any money because they ruin everything. Only buy second hand. Unless you need bits, in which fine, you can buy some new shit. Um. Anyway, or if you get stuff for birthdays, fine, get the new stuff. But if you're buying yourself stuff, get those deals. Actually, ignore everything I was saying. Never buy second hand because then I can buy it all. 70 points for this model. It's just pretty nice. 70 points. It's cheap as fuck, right? What's the next thing you're buying for? I mean, it's like a little bit of an upgrade on some war bikers. Gives a debuff. It's not bad. It's not bad. Takes about the same amount of damage. Right, deals fuck all. Does no damage at all, right? You might kill. You can kind of hold some things up. Intercessors, you can charge them. Then they can't retreat. That's not bad. They can shoot into combat. You're getting somewhere. You got to make sure that they can't kill you. And even intercessors with a thunder hammer could fuck you up a bit. Probably won't kill you, but it'll fuck you up a bit. So yeah, I think come to the yeah, no, we talked about that. The interesting thing, yeah, it's quite good against those low ballistic skill, low weapon skill armies. Imperial Guard. I put Mechanicus. I have no clue. I think I've played Mechanicus once in my whole life. Actually, I'm lying. Maybe twice in my whole life. I have no idea whether they got good shooting, bad shooting. I think they change every edition. That's the other thing. They always have like half the time they have a billion buffs, and then recently they made them dog shit. And then anyway, I'm not going to go into it. I think they're good again, but yeah, certain things will really hate the -1 to hit. Us, us orcs, we will hate the -1 to hit. Imperial Guard will hate it. I think Gene Stealer cults won't enjoy it. So it's honestly quite nice. You can have 2 Boomdax wagons, and you can remove +1 to hit buffs if they've got heavy, or if they're like us with war bosses, or they're Imperial Guard with take aim. Um, it's quite a nice situation. It's quite a nice situation. Making a unit that hits on 3s down to 4s. I think that's a -25% damage. 3s to 5s, I mean that's minus a third of incoming fire. it's just pretty nice. I think people need to be using this. If you've got 5 points and you've got some wall bikers and you think, you know what, I've got a boomdax wagon that I've never used in my life. Use it. Use it. I mean, it's cool. It's a cool model as well. So yeah, thank you for watching, everybody. Hope you like my profile. Hope you like the audio. I hope you enjoyed a bit of the jokes. Hopefully, it wasn't too long. I think it is surprisingly long. So bloody watch the whole thing twice because that's another 40 minutes of watch time or something like that. So yeah, thank you very much. Have a good day.